This is a real good question. Uh, Fall clothing versus spring clothing. Which one do I prefer? Wow. Spring is always kind of like in between, but you still got to kind of in between with your clothing because depending on where you live, sometimes it can still be cool and crisp. Sometimes it can still be warm. These seasons are very, the one thing about summer and winter, they're different extremes and you dress completely different. But I really think about the spring and the autumn as far as your clothing scheme. Well, in the autumn, it's more like you're rocking sweaters, maybe some T-necks, you know. But you're still kind of colorful, but you're getting kind of conservative. So it's kind of like it loans itself to like as a hybrid. So it's interesting where it kind of goes. It can kind of go in that direction. It'll be interesting where it goes, but kind of goes in that direction, when you think about the autumn, um, how it make you feel. You walk in the leaves. I remember rocking, T-necks and sweaters and slacks and shoes. And it was, but that's all you really needed. You didn't have to overdo it. You had just enough to be in the moment and it was cool. But it loaned itself for a certain type of color scheme. And so it's kind of like it hits like that and it's a certain feel like that. And that leads me to like the spring. Because the spring, you rocking certain colors, but you're still kind of warm. You might be still rocking a jacket because it can still be brisk. It can still be a certain way. It feels a little bit warmer, but it's still kind of cool. You know what I mean? So kind of loans itself into what you're rocking. It all depends on what you got. It hits kind of different. It all depends on kind of how your elements are with it, and how you shop. Cause like when I've gone out in the springtime to get spring gear, I can get a lot more deals. Cause you may want certain shirts or certain things to layer. Whereas in the autumn, you're trying to either get your sweaters on or your T-necks, and they can be a bit pricey. So it all depends. And your kicks are different too. My kicks in the spring more lighter in the feet. When you get towards the autumn, it's kind of heavier. So it all depends on which way you're going. So it all depends on which way we're going with this. But it's a good battle between the two. It's a good cover of which way I like it. It's a good way which way I want it to be. So spring and autumn, they loan themselves to different things. They have different ways that they are. They have different ways they proceed. They have different ways that they feel. They have different ways of what you need. And it all depends on what your scheme is. It all depends on what your layer